I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
They did it! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah!
What the fuck are you talking about?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Kicking It Stateside back again. Thursday, July 8th. The summer is rolling along already. By the time you know it, will be Labor Day, and then by the time you know that, it will be Christmas. So
Don't say that.
enjoy these next 5 months because they'll be gone in the blink of an eye, but I digress. So, today we got to talk a little bit about the final of the Euros. We have the final two. We had, the last time we spoke, we had Spain taking on Italy. Also, we had yesterday England's own winning, beating the Danes, the dark horse, the Cinderella story run is over. So now we have a final. On Sunday at 3 o'clock, we will see England versus Italy, which everybody probably wanted to see moving forward, even though, like I said, the Danes gave them a tough ride, but England battled back, and in the end, just a better team. So, I guess, Brian, with that being said, do you think England will break the drought and win its first trophy since 1966? And we'll have it come home? What do you think?
Well, not only have they not won one since 1966, but this is their first appearance in a major final since 1966. I don't want to jinx them. I've kind of downplayed them this entire tournament, to be honest with you. Obviously, I've stated before I'm a huge German fan, but I do have a lot of English heritage, and I do like the England team. I like a lot of the individual players on the England team. I much prefer to see them over Italy. Like I've stated a few times now that it's good for the sport that Italy's back and doing its thing on the world stage. I'm okay if it ends here. It was a nice run. I'd love to see England take this thing and finish it off and become champions of Europe.
Yeah, I think that, either way, I think it's great for either team. For England, it'll be, their first, like you said, not only first major trophy, but even appearance in the final since their World Cup win in 1966. So that would be cool, no doubt. I think England would absolutely go absolutely bonkers if that was the case. I saw today that they signed a petition to make July 12th a national holiday going forward if they win the Euros. There's like over 100,000 signatures. So
they might want to wait on that. They should have waited till after.
Yeah,
you can always change that. You have a whole year to change it. I wouldn't put that into play yet if I was them. But hey, that's
it also would be just like Heartbreak City that they get all this. They get to the finals for the first time since 66, and then they lose, and it's just absolute devastation. So again, I think on the other side, the Italians, after not getting in the World Cup, this last go round, and then to come back in the Euros with the delay with the whole year since it was supposed to be last year with the pandemic, to come back, win the Euros a year later, I think would be a pretty cool story. So either way, I think it's great.
I think the intriguing thing with this Euros, which we've talked about the fact that it's still labeled 2020. It's kind of like it's been like a little bit of a jinx on this tournament with everything that happened with Eriksson. And there's been some teams that really had some tough calls go their way and some tough penalty shootouts, and so it would be pretty fitting for England to finally get their world or European title after all this, with it being labeled 2020. It would fit right back into that 2020 year.
Yeah,
or to lose a heartbreaker to Italy, either or. I mean,
again, there's a lot of fun storylines that could really go either way, with whichever team wins this thing. So it's going to be an interesting one. It should be fun. Again, Sunday, 3:00. We'll get a little more into it later, but also we do have a Copa America final. It's again what everyone was pretty much predicting and was hoping for. And congratulations, everyone got their wish.
And it's predictable.
And now it is Argentina versus Brazil in the final.
Ooh.
Neymar versus Messi.
Surprise, surprise.
Go. Headline City. So that will be Saturday night. So that's another one where it's like, all right, I called Messi out, last episode saying he hasn't done shit. And, he kind of made me eat my words. He had a pretty good game. And just Emi Martinez, the guy's a legend, just talking shit, during PKs, actually backing it up, getting Argentina into the final after that shootout with Colombia, making Yuri Mina look like a complete fool. It was a good day. It was a good day to be Argentinian. And, I think they have a great shot winning this thing. And, it's kind of funny. It's one of those, I wouldn't be so upset if Neymar lost a big game, and I wouldn't be upset if Messi lost a big game. So I win either way.
Well, going back to my buddy Emi, it's been a known thing over many years that a lot of guys can sit on Arsenal's bench and maybe never find their way at Arsenal and then go elsewhere and succeed. The guy sat on Arsenal's bench or was transferred out for 12 straight years, finally got an opportunity and absolutely shined, and they ship him off, and now he may be one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Crazy so if you want your career to excel, just go sit on Arsenal's bench for a year or two and then underperform and get shipped out, and you will be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's very phenomenal. Really where they say coming of age, a guy that just stuck with it, and dealt with all the craziness that it could be being a player in professional soccer, with being transferred and loaned out constantly year after year, never really knowing where you're going to be. And then finally getting a chance with your home, and then they ship you out basically across the street. And yeah, but he's really doing his thing. And I don't know. I'm torn in that final, like you said. It's like, do you really want to see Neymar get one? Do you really want to see Messi get one? I don't know. It's the same. I won't get into it now because we have our little debate coming up in the last 15 minutes of this show with our buddy Lord Walker. Everybody please hang tight and join us for that. We will debate a little bit about, Copa America, the tournament, and the African Cup of Nations, the history, the quality of the tournament, the quality of parity, I would say. There's a lot of things we'll discuss, but
right,
we'll get into that. But no surprise, you have Argentina and Brazil in the finals again.
Yeah, again, it's kind of what everyone thought, and again, it's probably the two best teams in that South American country anyway. So not too surprising, but again, that final will be Saturday at 8:00. I think FS1's been carrying that, so tune into that. So it's a pretty good slate in the weekend. You got stuff on Saturday night rolling right into Sunday afternoon with the Euro final. So if you like international football, which I think a lot of non-soccer watching people actually tune into the international game more than the domestic leagues. So if you want to see some of the best players in the world, you definitely have this weekend that they're going to be on center stage doing their thing and just improving their resumes, some of these guys. So
yeah, and even if you want on Friday, they're doing a third place game in Copa America, which they don't do in Euros. They do in World Cup. So you could actually start it Friday with Colombia, Peru if you're really feeling nutty.
If you're crazy. Or if you're Colombian or Peruvian, either way.
Or Peru, yeah, well, then you're all in. Speaking of, I guess we could mention it now if you want. We have our matchups for the Gold Cup. Those games were played, and we got through that. And unfortunately for them, and I don't know what it's going to take for this poor country, and Guatemala just fails to qualify again. Like, they had a golden opportunity against Guadeloupe, and they did not. They lost their game. So my friend she's from Guatemala, I feel for her again. They per capita, I've mentioned it before, they have the second most people in the entire world that play the sport of soccer when surveyed. And they've never been to like a big tournament because of pretty much government corruption and financial issues. So
that makes sense.
They failed again and they missed the Gold Cup. So
can't even be Guadeloupe. There it is.
Yeah.
Jesus, unreal.
Golden
opportunity.
We have our matchup. We mentioned our first game was going to be on July 11th, and we will take on Haiti. They are the last members to join our group. So that's we can go look at the groups if you want now. What the additions were: Trinidad qualified, Haiti qualified, the aforementioned Guadeloupe qualified. And it looks like, who was the last one? Grenada that was waiting to qualify? Or Panama, one of them got into that last group. I think it was maybe Grenada, because Honduras was in and Qatar was in.
Right.
So, which is interesting how they're adding. I noticed that these Gold Cup and the like the Copa, they add like random teams that aren't part of CONCACAF or CONCABOL or whatever.
Right.
So that just goes to my argument. That just goes to my argument again later too.
I mean, Qatar's warming up for their World Cup bid.
Yeah.
They get the automatic qualification, I believe.
I'm sure. Yeah, of course they do.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's up, everybody? I know I didn't get to the comments. David, he's ready. He's ready. We're all ready. I think it's going to be pretty entertaining final. Again, my heart was kind of being like, yeah, I think England's got a great shot, but I really would like to see Denmark get in there, just a feel-good story. And, it's kind of funny if England would have fell flat on their face, but they have one more game to do so we'll see. Jake,
it's time.
Snake thinks Italy will pull it out. Should be good. Again, I think it'll be competitive. Be Willie checking in. What's up, brother? Eddie says, I think Italy will win and make them cry. Yeah, I mean, again, it's a home game for England, at Wembley. The stage is set. They have their dream scenario right out in front of them. So you got to grab the moment, man. This is their time to do it. If there's none more like, the present being home in a final at Wembley, I mean, this is the opportunity. So.
Well, breaking news this morning, too, that we did not cover yet was it did come out. England has been charged by UEFA because apparently Kasper Schmeichel was being lasered prior to that PK, and they have it on film. Even though he saved the initial PK and could not save the rebound, I guess this was not coming from Denmark pushing for it, but just the fact that everything's on video now. And UEFA has officially charged England as of this morning. I don't know what that will have going
probably
forward, any ramifications. Probably
a small fine, or maybe I don't even know. There's
not
much you can do.
Yeah, and I guess especially since Kasper saved it, Like,
I was gonna say, yeah.
it's like, how much effect did it really have? Like, was it on it? Did he even notice it, or was it just someone watched the film later and was like, "Oh my god, he was being lasered"? So, but
yeah, I think they might have had a very minuscule shot of maybe being like, well, he didn't make the save. Like, he got lasered. We couldn't see the ball, but he
missed it on the rebound. Yeah.
That's kind of out the window. So they'll probably get a slap on the wrist and some small fine that they'll be able to pay. But yeah, it was an interesting headline to come out saying, "Yeah, he got lasered." And then I saw something on one of the Twitter I follow. It's like football shithousery, and it was like it was like a game in Egypt, and there's like 6 lasers on like the goalie's face during the one shootout. It's like, this is Egyptian football, how they have to play, and there's like 6 different lasers on his face. Like, that's respect, though, you know? You only complain about 1. How about 6 in your face? And how does that even get, like, from being there at Wembley, going through the security, like, firsthand, I don't know how, like, a laser even got through, unless this guy, like, snuck it up his ass or something.
Which wouldn't surprise anybody.
No, it wouldn't, because I'm sure there's
not anymore.
Yeah. People's asses.
Yeah,
I don't even want to think about that.
Some drunk bloat decided to, or maybe he got his female friend to give him a hand. Who knows? we'll just say it.
We're not sure.
So anyway, in other related
I brought that
world
up.
soccer and European news, Didier Deschamps actually is staying with France. Apparently the talks only took about 3 minutes, and you know, an early exit, was not probably ideal. They kind of got a little unlucky, but I mean, the guy just won a World Cup. How do you run him out of town? So,
yeah, surprisingly, they're probably like, well, we don't really have another option, and the World Cup's literally in a year, so let's just, actually a little more because it's in the wintertime coming out. I keep forgetting that.
I know. And this tournament was supposed to happen last summer, so we're not even in the right positioning of the every 2 years, and it's
all screwed up.
Crazy. Great comment. Stu, welcome. Anytime you can throw a comment out there like that, you are more than welcome to join us. Thank you.
It could be an English guy, because that'd be okay for them to say it.
Yes.
Knowing how they think about the Queen and...
Or anybody from the UK in general. Don't even have to be English. It could be Welsh or Irish or Scottish.
Any hatred for the Queen is funny in the House of Lords.
Let's see, what else? Anything else related to that? I don't think so. I'm just definitely looking forward to the finals coming up.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, I think that it has, would I say it's exceeded expectation of like the whole tournament in general? I think possibly. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we had a little of.
It was a good tournament. You know, there's a lot of dramatic, especially any, I think, knockout game in a big tournament's always entertaining. And especially, I think, in this, in the Euros, it's been crazy. So it's been a fun tournament. Again, it's kind of hard because a lot of people are still looking ahead at the World Cup, which is literally next year, which is usually not the case. So, and also you got the Copas going on. There's just a lot going on because we're trying to play catch up. From a year that we didn't do anything. So, but I thought it was pretty entertaining, you know, overall, the games that I was able to watch, and seemed like, you know, there was some good drama, some good games, some good goals. I think it was pretty solid.
Yeah, it was kind of everything that you want in a tournament. You had the feel-good story, or almost tragedy feel-good story with Eriksson. You had the upsets with the Swiss taking down France, with Denmark really moving on to the Final Four was a big upset. And then, you had some of the teams that you did expect to be there in England get there. A team like Spain. Kind of surprised at the early exits from the group of death. I figured one of them was going to get through their group and probably make some noise. But, yeah, it was overall definitely a good tournament. Let's just hope it ends with a solid final and not some garbage, something controlled by referees. Which, again, that we didn't even really mention how that England game ended. I think it was the right call. Again, it was tough, but that's one of those calls where he was getting bounced around, and they kind of gave them that first little shot on Sterling, and then once they took that second one, they pretty much was forced to give him that PK. So,
yeah, I would say that it was the right decision. I mean, you're just putting the ref in a tough spot. I mean,
yeah, it's a hard call to make in a game like that, late in a situation like that. But
right,
again, it's your, like you said, your job as a player not to put the ref in that spot and make them feel forced to make that call against you. So
it's like Raheem Sterling he has to be frustrating, I think, for English fans and whatever team he plays for at any given moment. Like, he can be so good. He can be amazing, and then sometimes he's just like in the game yesterday, he has a one-on-one with Casper, and he just crushes it literally right at his chest. Like, Casper didn't make the save; he just shot it into Casper's chest. And you're thinking,
there's like
you pick a corner, you're gonna score that, and we wouldn't be.
He's
talking
one of those
about
guys. He just has those moments of absolute brilliance, and then he has those moments of you're just like he can't finish and he can't. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's why Liverpool made their decision back when they did to move on from him, because when he's great, but at the same time, that's not the first time he's done that before. So
yeah, it's slithering his way. Stu. Copa America final, Messi, Neymar, absolutely. Euros. You got Kane and Chiellini battling it out, the big lummoxes, like we like to say.
Yeah,
it's I don't know. It's gonna be. I mean, again, if you're going off name wise, I'm sure Messi, Neymar is going to grab a lot of the attention from that matchup. But again, it's if you're not South American or anything, or you're just kind of like, I don't know what to tell you. It's hard to say that the Copa is more entertaining, but obviously they do it correctly, and they have one on Saturday night and they have one Sunday afternoon, so it makes sense. So you can watch both. You don't have to choose.
when he says Messi versus Neymar for their first Copa, what do you mean, for Messi's first Copa title? I'm pretty sure Neymar got one last year, or 19. It was Brazil won in 19, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, again, I'm not really great with the history of the Copa.
Unless Neymar wasn't part of that team, I mean that is an absolute possibility. But they definitely won in 2019. So maybe Neymar was knocked or something. So technically, it wouldn't be his. I know Messi doesn't have one because he doesn't win anything big for Argentina.
I know. This is his chance.
If he doesn't quit, he's got to get out there first.
I think this is the time. I think this is the opportunity. He's gonna do it.
I was actually disappointed in Portugal. That would have helped my argument if they would have went on further in this Euros again with that whole argument. Even though I really don't like Portugal, but it would have sustained my argument stronger for Ronaldo over Messi.
Oh yeah, I mean,
That's why I personally have to root for Brazil in this game because like I can't have Messi winning this.
No.
Oh, there's Eric, Messi, the Messi lover, Messi to Liverpool, Eric.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah. They had one of those on one of the Arsenal pages where they had him in an Arsenal jersey. I'm like, no.
Yeah, he's definitely going to make that decision.
Yeah, sure he wants to come to London. Sounds like Messi.
No. No, he's staying.
Speaking of, they did come out and basically say that if City or PSG was to get Messi, it would require them to break financial rules. So they've pretty much come out and they're like, we have our eye on you, both of you. And if you end up with Messi, like, we're just going to fine you. We're not really going to do anything to you because we already know that. They're not going to ban him or anything. They've tried that one, but they're warned. I'm assuming they're warned of a fine.
We've seen what happens when Man City breaks the law.
Yeah.
You get slapped.
Hey, Frankie's here. Congratulations, Frank. They look good. They're going to be a tough out in the final.
That's what happens, baby.
Yeah, and Donnarumma's going to get paid soon, bro.
I think he's a free agent if I'm not mistaken.
He's going to be moving soon. I don't know if he'll be able to. I mean, just the fact that he's Italian, they may be able to keep him in that league, but I don't think so. Yeah, maybe. Supplanting what's his name twice on the world team, Buffon on the world team, and on. That's
what happens. I don't even know who's at Juve anymore.
Buffon's like twice that kid's age, literally. I think more than twice his age, like legitly.
Yeah, I said he was 20. I think the other day he was 22. Donnarumma.
Is he already there?
Yeah.
Time has been flying lately.
Pretty young.
He's super young.
Early 20s.
He's super young. So.
But fantastic.
Predictions for the two champions. Again, I don't want to predict Europe because I want England to win. I would like to see it. It's a good story. It's good for football. But at the same time, this Italian team is just they're on a nice run, man. Look at the stats. As far as goals allowed, they're producing. They're hot, and they've played a lot of games in this tournament, and they've had a lot of production in this tournament. So to pick against them right now would be kind of ludicrous, I think, too. So I'm staying very neutral in this one, and like I said just before, I'm going to take Brazil in the Copa final.
Yeah, I mean, I think just all the signs point to England winning. I just think they have a better team. They're at home in Wembley. The stage is set for them to take it. It's just,
yeah,
it's how it's really shaping up. Unless the Italians have other plans, and coming in and just a decent upset, beating England on home soil in a final, and that would be very England though. So it's. Again, like I said in the beginning, it's like a win-win for me. Either way, both finals, I'm like just sitting there like either way works for me. If Italy wins, it'd be a fantastic story. The fact that they missed the World Cup the last time around to go in and, winning a Euro final would be fantastic. And then England, obviously, from, not being in a final since '66, since the World Cup that they won, and to winning it again finally, I'm sure would be quite the monkey off the back for a lot of English fans. So as a neutral, it's great. It's a great weekend. You can't really go wrong.
No, you're right, 100%.
We do have Lord Walker waiting in the wings.
Yeah, so we will get him on shortly. We're going to kind of
backstage. He's waiting for his
backstage, patiently waiting his appearance. Promised like about the last 15, 20 minutes here for him and I to go at it. we had a little discussion last week on the show as Adam and I were talking, and the Copa came up, and I basically said that I would choose to watch the African Cup of Nations over Copa. And then it kind of got into more just the argument, I think, in general, of just like African football versus South American football, where they're at as far as the world stage goes, where they're at as far as, to me, where the Prem is, because the Prem is, I think we all agree, and why we follow it so hard, is still the best league in the world. So we're definitely going to let Lord Walker, I'm going to let him come out first. And
Lord Walker would like to discuss Barcelona and the state of their finances and in soccer. So we'll bring him on right now. We'll let him do his thing here before, and we can get his opinion on maybe the Gold Cup and everything else that we got.
So he's just all Messi riding right now. Is that what you're telling me? He wants to talk about Barca. He wants to talk about Copa.
I think this is like his segue into roasting you, apparently.
This is his way into getting Messi to try to come to Liverpool. Is this his pitch, Messi to Liverpool? That's what it sounds like. Sounds like he's super heavy.
In the sun. It's time for further ado, our good friend.
What's up, Pete? What's up, Pete?
Our Liverpool stan, our confidant, Lord Walker, in the building. What's up, man? Long time.
Long time. Definitely long
gorgeous
time.
face.
How's it going, guys?
What's up?
Oh, just the humidity out here in the Northeast is a pain in the ass.
I bet. I don't know what that life is like anymore. But
Yeah, I was like, do you even sweat out there?
That dry heat.
I know it's hot, but
it's like 100 degrees still at night. Right now it's 95 degrees, man. It's 95.
Yeah, but it could be 74 here, and you walk outside and you're dripping.
Start dripping. Yeah. I'm ready to go though, because I know someone was talking some mess on.
Hey, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Oh, you got the notes. That's great.
I'm ready.
I didn't know if I could bring notes since this is
you can.
notes,
I mean, this is A2D. We've talked about this. This is A2D. This is no notes radio. This is what Tom Arnone created. But we do talk about a sport that is extremely in depth. That every once in a while is going to require me to put some notes on paper. So I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready.
You want to take the first swing, or
No. You are the guest. Stage is yours.
All right. So we were talking about, basically, you're saying how Copa isn't as good as the African. I think their competition for Africa, right? And
Correct.
I really took some offense to it because I thought, truthfully, I think that the teams that are left in this tournament right now could easily be comparable to the teams that are left in Europe right now, for instance.
I know you said that. I've been laughing all week.
How you cannot say Argentina and Brazil are as good, if not better, than England and Italy is ludicrous, dude.
We'll see in a year. We'll see in a year.
We'll definitely see in a year. But I mean, there's no person that would say that hands down England. I'm not saying that England and Italy are worse than them. I'm just saying there's an argument that can be made for each of those.
Yeah, but we were going at that point Final Four, and you still now have to include Peru and Colombia in your argument.
I agree with that. And Peru and Colombia. Peru's like 19th, I think. I think they're 19th in the world. Okay.
They're not a bad team. They're
27th in the world. They're 27th in the world. So, they're not a bad team, okay? But the sheer fact is that the Danes had a great run. They're not a bad team, too. I think they're ranked 10th, I believe, in the world. I want to say I would have to pull up my notes as well. But I believe they're 10th. I mean, there were some really good teams left in Europe. I'm just trying to say that Colombia is a talented team. I love Colombia.
They are.
I follow them, and I have a lot of definite friends and people that I'm connected with. So
I actually did. I went back and looked at the Uruguay game, and I put down Uruguay. I didn't realize Uruguay was full squatted for that game, and Colombia took them 0-0, and then took them in the piece. So that was good.
Yeah.
I mean, to hold down Suarez and Cavani for an entire game, and
right, and
that was impressive.
Uruguay's the 9th ranked team.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I mean, there's a lot of different things that I would say you have to weigh in on when you're saying these teams are that Copa doesn't get the respect that it should, and it really does, to tell you the truth. I mean,
it's actually the 3rd most watched tournament in the world.
Yeah, so it
does get its respect.
It does get respect, you know, and it sounded somewhat like you would rather tune into to CAF, you know, and
I would.
Yeah. All right, so let's just go like this. This is how I figured we'd go about this argument. Let's take the FIFA World Team. Okay, take the FIFA World 11. Let's just start by doing just like as simple as that. And because you were saying how there's so many more players and everything else. And look, I'm wearing my Liverpool kit. I understand that 2 of the best players in the world are on my squad and represent Africa. Okay. However, despite those two players, both of those players possibly wouldn't even be on the World 11. And they weren't on the 2019, 2020 World 11, for instance, and that was a better year for them than this past year. Okay, so if we're going to do it, the 2019 World 11 was Allison, Davies, VVD, Sergio Ramos, Thiago, KDB, Kimmich.
Thiago.
See, the funny thing about it is Thiago played for your team too, man. And he was very, very, very influential on your squad, your Byron squad. Okay. So, like,
listen,
to disrespect Thiago is...
I just watched him play for Spain. I just watched his coach pull his hair out as he's sending balls obnoxiously into the box late in a game when they need a goal to win. Like just
you know why? Because
he did not.
He's now used to having Mo or Asadi be those runners that are going to run in on those balls and get those.
Yeah,
balls
I know.
It's a different squad. And on top of that, Thiago's the only person. Thiago was the only guy that came up and netted his penalty kick like a pimp. So don't do that, dude. Don't do that. That dude came to play. He always.
You just said he's better because he's used to giving service to 2 of the best African players in the world.
Absolutely. But I'm just saying, let's stick with it though. With the World 11, let's just go on. We got Kimmich, right?
Again, the World 11 is not the Bible either, though. That's
well, we got to go off of something. Okay, we have some stuff to go off of too. We can go off the okay. See, you mentioned Bible. Now all of a sudden, I think God's trying to work His magic on you, but on your microphone. but
that happens every time.
But then we have forwards. We have Lewandowski, Messi, and Ronaldo. That's the complete 11. Okay. Out of those teams, was there any African players? Not one. Not one. Let's just say this. I'm gonna get dropped off. I know. I'd be scared too, because I'm gonna bring this other hammer right now, because it's gonna be our first round knockout. If we even go with CAF the CAF 11, okay, we're talking about Onana, Andre Onana. I think that's how you pronounce his name, Onana. Looking at Serge Aurier, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Some of his names, I apologize for mispronouncing some of these names. Hakimi, you have Koulibaly, you have Matip, another Liverpool player. You have he plays for PSG. He's from Senegal. Idrissa, right? You have Mahrez, Ziyech. You have your boy, Aubameyang, and then you have Mane and Salah. That's the list. You can take those notes. That's the World 11 for the CAF, right? But then you're going to compare them to CONMEBOL's World 11, okay? And that would be Becker, Marquinhos, Jimenez, Ataman, Douglas Costa, Casemiro, Fabinho, Neymar, Dybala, Aguero, Messi. Dog, stop.
You have two players. You have two players.
Two players, who?
You have two players.
What are you talking about?
You have Messi and Neymar. That's what you get. You get Messi and Neymar.
Oh, wait, so
I like
Dybala?
Marquinhos too.
Yeah, Dybala's not a good player, dude.
And
I got the goalie that just won Champions League.
Who?
I have the most recent Champions League winning goalie.
Who?
Eduard Mendy.
I do.
Yeah, but
Yes, he is.
he's
David Onana.
He's not.
Yes, he
he's
is.
not the world. He's not elite freaking goalkeeper, dude. He's a good goalkeeper. He's a good goalkeeper. But you're gonna say that he's better than let's just go down the list here. You're gonna say he's better than Atletico Madrid's goalkeeper. You're gonna say he's better than Real Madrid's goalkeeper.
But they're not part of your league. You have one goalkeeper. You have Becker, and he's hurt.
Allison Becker's not hurt. What are you talking about?
You got one goalkeeper. You have maybe two in Keylor Navas.
Okay, the goal Navas.
But here's the thing. All right, so here.
Is Costa Rican?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's CONCACAF, I think.
That's CONCACAF. Yeah, but you're thinking of
Goalies, I don't know about that. But besides that,
he's dropping in and out. I know he's getting.
All right. My. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
you look good.
Your argument's great. Your argument's valid. Here's my argument, because the argument was about what's the most entertaining tournament, right?
No, you said that. I ran the tape back.
No, there was multiple things to this argument. One was the tournament. I would rather watch the Africa Cup of Nations over this tournament.
Right.
Over Copa America. Mm-hmm. And I also said that in my mind right now, African football and the players in African football are more influential, especially in the Premier League, than the players in that are on the teams that participate in Copa America. Okay. Whether it's on the world stage.
League, I love Premier League, but I mean, Premier League's not the only league in the world.
But again, Premier League is what we look at as the number one league in the world. So if you're overloaded in the number one league of the world, in my mind, then you're doing something right. You're producing really good players, and they're playing, not just being on teams in the world stage, but playing on the world stage. So my statistics, and this is just in the Premier League, and we can go deeper when we have our own show together next Thursday. By the way, plug for that show. Lord Walker and I will be doing an hour together because Adam will not be here. So next Thursday, we will set a nice show criteria for that.
Yeah.
Right now, currently in the Premier League.
Yep.
Copa America, all the teams that participate. And that's me giving you Japan because they participated in a Copa. Mm-hmm. That's giving you the United States because they participated in a Copa, even though they're not part of the. And it's also giving you Mexico, who's participated as well, who is not part of this, but they have participated in multiple Copas.
Yeah, because there's 44. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say there's 44 teams in Europe, and then I don't know how many teams are actually in Africa, in African nations.
Well, so Africa Cup of Nations now has 24 teams involved in their tournament.
Okay, so that's 10.
That is the biggest.
That's 10. That is the biggest in South America. Excuse me.
That is the biggest that they've gotten to at this point. Yes, They've allowed 24 teams into that tournament. They have 15 countries represented in the Premier League, Africa. 50 players, totaling 57,952 minutes played last year. Meaningful minutes. Because I'll go down the list of who's playing and where if you really want to.
Yeah, I would love
compared to Copa, who has 8 countries represented, and that's including U.S., Japan, and Mexico, including those
in the Premier League.
In the Premier League,
right?
with only 26 players
on a continent
and
that has
27
on a continent that has 14 countries. They have
Hold on,
8
listen.
countries representing. Okay, go ahead.
Listen, I'm just stating.
Yeah, I can.
They don't have 8. They have 5 technically,
Okay.
because I gave you Japan, I gave you US, and Mexico doesn't count because they're not part of CONMEBOL.
Okay.
So
All right.
and anyway, Mexico has 1 player in the Premier League, and he's got a broken skull, so it really doesn't matter. He had barely any. He had 823 minutes last year, so that's not even. They only totaled 27,000 minutes last year. Half the minutes, not even 30,000 less minutes. Half the amount of players, half the amount of talent that you're taking from one pool to the other. Also, going in on the tournament, a tournament that has been played. Your tournament's been played since 1916. My tournament's only been played since 1957. From where after 1957 they expanded from 3 teams. They're all the way up to 24 now.
Oh, wow.
Since then, we've had, here's our winners. We've had 14 different winners in that time. Egypt being the leader with 7 championships. Cameroon with 5, Ghana with 4, Nigeria with 3,
Hey, hold
and
on,
a
hold
few
on.
with 2.
Can you say those 3? Can you say those three that have won it so many times again? I didn't hear the first
Egypt,
one. Right.
Egypt 7.
World power.
Cameroon.
No. World power. Egypt. Go ahead.
Okay, Cameroon
Yeah.
5.
Cameroon, another world power, as well.
Ghana 4.
Ghana, another world power. Go ahead.
Nigeria 3.
Nigeria. That is the
Ivory
that's the
Coast,
4
2.
horses. 4 horses of the apocalypse right
Algeria
there.
2.
Cote
Oh,
d'Ivoire.
wow.
Parity.
Can't forget
What
Algeria.
makes a good? Hold on.
World stage there.
what
World
make-
stage
what-
champions?
What makes a good soccer tournament to you? The same guys beating up the little guys every time, because your tournament's been played since 1916,
If
and
you
you've
go-
only had 8.
if you
You've
go
had
by
8
that-
different winners.
If you go
And
by
guess
that,
what?
uh-huh.
Argentina won 14 of them. Uruguay
Yeah.
won 15 of them, and
Yeah.
Brazil won 9 of them.
Yeah.
And that's most of your yes. I know World
Under
Cup.
that pretense.
World
Under
Cup
that
has only
pretense.
been won by a handful of teams.
Right, a handful of teams, and the one team
But
that's won
World
the
Cup,
most.
but
Okay,
but
but
at
the one
the,
team
but
that's
at
won
that,
the most.
but if you look at the history of the World Cup, a lot of these, it wasn't a World Cup until the last 30 years.
Wow,
It was a European Cup with a few other invites.
I didn't know you guys got
with a few
earthquakes
big South
in-
American
earthquakes in
invites.
New Jersey. I didn't know we got earthquakes in New Jersey. 'Cause we are shifting these grounds left and right, my dude. Under your pretense, hold on. Under your pretense,
Go ahead.
and you're talking about, oh well, the same teams beating up on the same teams, and that would mean that Peru making it is something of saying, hey, there's something about the fact
Actually,
that
Peru has 2 titles.
there is something that means that these teams can come out of nowhere and actually perform because they're great countries. They're great national teams. Second, you're talking about, you said 5, okay, in the Prem. All right. First off, there's a
Congo
reason.
DR's got 2. Are they a great country?
Who does? Who?
Congo DR. Yeah.
Gosh. Okay. All right.
Congo.
So yeah, these are all. I mean, that's my point. Is that you just mentioned all these different teams in Africa that were not, that no person would in their right mind say, "Oh, that's a world power soccer nation."
I'm not
Okay.
saying they're a world power
Okay,
soccer
so
nation, but
they're
I'm
not a
saying
world
their
power-
players are more influential in the world of soccer right now.
How is that even? You can't say that they have great. So they have great players, but they don't have a great team. They don't have great teams. They don't have great nation cup.
No,
nation teams.
I think they have really good teams, and I love their tournament. Their tournament is always competitive. There's always parity. There's always that chance of you don't know who's just going to come in and run away with the tournament unless it's one of those Egypt
We're
runs.
I get it. Like, as in, you have powerhouses. Argentina is a powerhouse. Brazil,
My-
Brazil is a
okay.
powerhouse. I get that. Even some of the other, like Chile and Ecuador and who am I missing out on? Colombia, obviously. Those
Paraguay.
teams all Paraguay. Those teams all do relatively well when it comes to World Cup. Period. So. And when it comes to Copa, they actually do well. They can do well as well. Okay, we get that. But out of all those things you said, so let's go under the pretenses of what you said. First off, the teams aren't even remotely comparable, my guy. They're not even remotely comparable. I would never say, who I think can beat Argentina? Egypt. You know who I think could really, really give Brazil a run for their money? Senegal. No. That is never said by anyone. But what you're saying is because you want B-level teams, quote unquote, and that makes a better parity for like competition wise. That makes it a better tournament to not see the best players in the world play. My dude, I get Premier.
What do you think the line on Peru and England would be?
Yeah, okay. I don't know.
It's the same.
I don't know.
What about
that?
You know?
Peru. I mean, Peru and England. I mean, like that's like. But I mean, I don't know what the line would be for Peru versus the Danes. I guess you know.
What about when the world power Brazil took on the German team back in 2014?
Oh wow,
with a chance to go to the final.
We're really winding back the reels now.
Well, I don't have much to compare to because when you put them in the World Cup, they haven't succeeded in a while. They haven't succeeded.
They haven't.
Outside of Brazil.
Answer me this question, Brian. Then, who has the most World Cups?
Who has the most World Cups?
Yeah,
I believe the most World Cups would be Brazil. Brazil. Yes, with 5. And 3 of them were in Pele's time, which, right? If I'm not mistaken, 3. I'm not saying that.
We can roll back.
I'm not saying it's a bad. It's not a bad thing. We're rolling it back. I'm asking. I'm asking.
Right.
I'm like legit asking. I think he won 3.
Okay.
Maybe it could be 2. It could be 2. I could be wrong.
Okay.
It's not a bad thing. I'm just saying, yes, they've won 5. Uruguay's won the first one. A lot of people don't know that. Most people don't know that.
Yeah.
And in 1950, Uruguay was a powerhouse in soccer, and they still are. They're a great country. They're a great team. They're a great team.
Again, beat in '66, but Pele, Brazil.
So yes, it might have been. No.
What your argument though is that you're saying there's better team. You're making it sound like there's better teams. First,
no, you misunderstood my argument.
Okay, so your first part of what you just brought up was that the teams are better in Africa, and I'm like, that's silly. But if we even go, but I started my argument by just naming the players, my guy. Like as in,
right.
I just started by saying, let's talk about the World 11. No player on that team is on. No player on the World 11 is from.
But some of that is bias, and some of that is bias.
Okay, I got you, but I'm just trying to go by something. We got to have some.
Salah doesn't deserve the World 11 when he's the top scorer in the Premier League year after year for the last 3 years. He doesn't deserve it.
In 2019, there's an argument that can be made that Salah should be on that list of forwards, but that means you're also saying he's better.
He should have been on it last year too.
No. That's like saying that. I appreciate it. I'll get you a Liverpool kit because you sound like you're a fan.
I actually almost bought one the other day. It was nice. It was a throwback Carlsberg one. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Yeah, it was nice.
But I mean, like that's like saying he's better than, or he should be rated higher, or put on the list in front of Lewandowski. That's iffy. That's like saying he should be put on the list in front of Messi. That's another iffy. If that's saying Ronaldo, which is the closest thing,
I know because you got to go position by position. I get it, but it doesn't. But it doesn't mean that these African teams aren't producing great players.
I'm not.
And to me, here's my thing. Here's my point. To the depth that I've mentioned, and to how much depth that they do have just in the Premier League and in other. Look at France. Look at the French league, and look.
Yeah.
Look at the French league, and a lot of those guys. I started with the Prem. We can expand on this, and make note that a lot of there's a good amount of players across the world that are playing for European teams that are actually would be playing for these teams in Africa if the money wasn't talking and they weren't finding. I know some of these teams that have guys that have African descent that are now playing for the French national team, or now playing for, and it was financially because they can pay them to do so, to where these countries in Africa can't necessarily pay them to do so. So some of that pool could be even deeper.
How is that any bit of an argument then for you saying that the African couple of nations,
because I still haven't finished it. That was just a sidetrack thought.
That's saying these teams have no money. They really don't have really great. They don't have like the finances to support a team, but they got a better product. That's a better product that you want to see.
Yes. No. Again. That was a sidetrack thought.
I know.
Was
kept it in the side.
if you take all that depth, right, and you spread it out between all the teams in a tournament, you're getting an entertaining tournament.
I bet you will.
You're getting a lot of guys.
You probably get a better
that
tournament.
You're seeing play on the world stage.
You probably get a better tournament.
You are getting a better tournament.
No, I mean, if those guys played for their true.
I'm not talking about those guys anymore. I'm talking about the 50, just the 50 alone that are playing in the Premier League, plus all the guys that are playing in La Liga that are actually on these African nations, and guys that are playing in the French league that are on these, not ones that have, quote unquote, I guess, defected and gone and played for what country that they've been playing club wise for all these years. But if you just took those guys and you throw them all into a tournament, it's better than just watching and knowing that most likely you're going to have Argentina and Brazil in a final. You're going to have Argentina or Brazil in a final. And you actually haven't had Argentina, that's another cry on Messi, because you're going to play all these squads and you can't win at least one Copa America. Like, really? You haven't even been to a Copa America final? This is your first final against that competition?
I really believe that Copa has one of the most heated competitions simply because every nation, pretty much every country that is involved in Copa is either a world power or is a legitimate threat in the world soccer, world play, and everything. And when it comes to playing Copa, which is now the home tournament, it becomes that more important. And I'm not trying to go past the Messi or anything like that, but let me just want to say this one part. You talked about the Premier League teams and this and that, and how many players are, how many of these borderline players that you're talking about are on Premier League teams or something, right? But at the same time, I will say this. There is a reason why so many players, especially from South America, don't aim towards the Prem. They aim more towards Barcelona, towards Real Madrid. Those are more of their target destinations, primarily possibly because of the language, the language bridge that they have there, the lifestyle differences that are from England to Spain. Those are primarily where you see a lot of these players aim towards going. So that's why you have a lot of these players playing in Real Madrid or your Barcelonas or even occasionally your Atletico Madrids or something along those lines. But that's where they aim to go. Prem has great teams and they have some great players. Like Aguero was playing for Man City. Obviously, Ottoman now that's playing for Man City. Those players are great. I mean, we have, obviously I have my Fabinho, Becker playing for Liverpool. Those players that's because Liverpool has created a relationship also with these South American teams. And also the fact that Liverpool is a world power, that's why you see these players come to these teams. So it has less to do with it being the Prem is the almighty end all. It's more so that these players want to go to Spain. Like it's easier. I know. I would want to be comfortable. I remember.
I get it. They want to be comfortable, just like in 2019, Brazil was in the final. In 2016, Argentina was in the final. In 2015, Argentina was in the final. They skipped on 2011. In 2007, Brazil and Argentina was in the final. 2004, Brazil and Argentina was in the final. They took 01 off, but then Brazil was back in the final in 99, 97, 95. Argentina was in 93, Brazil and Argentina in 91, Brazil in 89. So I'm tired of seeing Brazil and Argentina. I want to see some diversity in my tournament. I want to see different finals. I want to see different winners. That's what makes a good tournament.
I have nothing against diversity, obviously. I have nothing against bringing teams that probably shouldn't be there into a tournament just for shit, laughs, and giggles. But realistically, I want to see the best players play, period. I want to see the best teams play, period. I get it. If you didn't think that way, then you should not be a Bayern Munich fan, my dude. Stop watching the Bundesliga. Okay, because that's what you have in the Bundesliga.
I don't watch their Bundesliga games. I only watch their Champions League games.
Right. You need to stop watching that. You need to stop watching La Liga because there's only really two teams that primarily compete.
I root for Atletico.
And hopefully Thursday we'll be able to talk more about it. But I mean, like, we're talking about Barcelona, who's so cash strapped. They're $1 billion in debt and have $700 million in just salary alone coming up, and now they have to trim off $200 million off their books, or they won't be able to compete next year because of a fair play type of some type of for La Liga's like some type of salary cap, I guess you could call it. There's a lot of different things that go on, but I would never ever say that you would rather watch.
I would rather watch the Africans Cup of Nations.
Yes, you would rather watch JV. Yes. You would rather watch a JV game than watch varsity. That's basically what you just said.
Whoa.
So I get it. I get it. No, I get it.
It's tough.
I get it.
Again, the final's a different. The final's a different story. You want to watch this final? Sure, it's great. I don't need to watch the whole tournament because I'll just wait for the final. In my tournament, you got to watch my tournament because you never know what's going to happen. Exactly. You never know who's going to win. I can tell you every year I could put $100 on Brazil and Argentina to be in the final, and I'm at least walking away with half my money.
So
that's boring. That is not a good tournament. That's boring.
Right. You like the fact that you have some relatively mediocre teams in a tournament that is mediocre. And
with really good players,
because you get to see one or two really good players on some mediocre teams get to the finals that you don't know who will get there, right? It's better.
A great tournament.
That's better than watching a tournament where you get to see
it's a great tournament.
The best teams in the world compete and try to take down giant
teams.
Right?
No, they don't. They don't get to take. They take down giants when the World Cup comes. That's when those two get to take down giants, and Messi can never do it, and Neymar's looking like he's never going to do it either. So they can take down each other, right? But they ain't taking down giants.
I just don't know.
Messi had his chance.
You'll have to
and Neymar both in 2014. I'm rolling it back one more time.
I think you're in it. I think you're. I know we're a little over time, but I think that you were that you cut out when I listed the CAF. Raw 11.
I could hear it. I could hear it.
Okay. So when you get a chance, definitely take those notes down and compare each one to each one and say, I'd rather see this person play or that person play. Let's just go down that route. Say, I'd rather see this person play or that person play. This person play. That
I like watching Wilfred Ndidi. I like watching Riyad Mahrez.
Okay.
That almost comes down to just opinion, though.
Right. No, I get that.
I like Ziyech. I like Janipo.
Because he's the African stan over here. Like you're not going to get him.
I love Ivory Coast football. I can't. What do you want me to? If I could coach Ivory Coast football, I'd be the happiest guy in the world.
I just want you to know that it became the beautiful game because Brazil started playing in the World Cup. It became the beautiful game because South America, and I love
again, but I'm also talking.
I respect the hell out of Brazil and your Uruguays and your Argentinas and your Colombias because they are on another level when it comes to it.
Their tournament's boring.
No disrespect to Cameroon, who I loved when they had their runs in the World Cup. But no one is going to ever say, who I think is going to win the next World Cup champion is going to come out of Africa. They're not. Because realistically, the only continents that have had winners have been South America or Europe. So I mean, I get your argument being that you want to see parity and you want to roll into a tournament and not have a real idea of who's going to win. All right, cool. Because no one watches CAF but you. But I mean, realistically, I want to see the best soccer, plain and simple. And it comes down to it. Copa, despite it not getting the high billing that crap that that we're dealing with in Europe or something along those lines, then I still want to see the best soccer, and I really believe that South America is an amazing powerhouse.
I'm surprised.
Oh, Zach.
It also comes down to domestic leagues. You don't see the Egyptian league very high rated. You don't see the Moroccan league high rated, but Brazil league, that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
You see a lot of players come out of that. So I think that has a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah, they come from there and they die there.
The best league in Africa is in South Africa. Because obviously South Africa is a very wealthy country, but you don't hear people saying, "Oh, I got to go see the Chiefs play," like
that's why it's even.
There's a reason why
it's even more amazing.
You can't. There's a reason why you can't really name a handful of teams from Africa, but you can name
all their best players get plucked.
I said name the teams. I didn't say the players. I just said name some teams in Africa, and I don't mean nation.
Chiefs.
Oh, clubs. You're talking clubs.
Yeah, clubs. Yeah. Other than that, you can't. You can name. Excuse me again. You can name South
Flamengo.
America.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Boca is a really good team, dude. River Plate is a really good team. So don't.
They are.
Don't them.
Club Tijuana, baby. I'm all on the Club Tijuana train. Cholos for life.
Right. Man,
that was 2011.
I just think I get that I have a love for the CAF, and I'm not disrespecting African nations.
Again,
saying that they're.
It was never a debate on who had the better teams on a world stage. It was a debate of who put on the better tournament. To me, what was the better tournament to watch? Again, that was the whole thing. I said I would rather watch the African Cup of Nations over Copa any day.
The primary thing that I focused on, what you said, was there are better players. You're going to come down with some crazy list. You're going to come down with some crazy list of better players come from Africa that are over that you rate over CONMEBOL. And I was like, that is ludicrous, dude.
I enjoy watching.
Argentina, you could take Argentina's team and be able to compare them to the World 11 or CAF's World 11. You could take Brazil's team and go through, and I'm talking about their bench players, dude.
That Argentina team's looking real old.
In CAF.
I was going to say, I don't know about them.
That Argentina team's looking real old.
Maybe the old Di Marias of the world. Dybala is average to me. I don't think he's anything special.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Their best players right now is their goalkeeper.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Wow.
You're welcome, Villa.
I did. I said that. Put it in writing.
I will. I'm gonna
go Brazil. On that note, we do have to go, but I am rooting for Brazil because Messi's feudalness is just something that needs to stay part of his career, and maybe he'll quit on his team again on the world stage, because he did back in 2016 when they lost to Chile in the final. Yeah, he quit on his team. He quit. He said, "I'll never play for Argentina again." He did. He said it. I heard it,
and
it was real.
He is doing a real. He's doing a real cool big ups to Diego's memory, I think, by playing, and that's the reason why.
I know.
And on top of that, I would just like to point out that I believe that the chat is heavily on my side. Ooh. Wow.
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah.
Look at the chat group though.
Oh, now you're gonna make fun of our illustrious chat.
I'm not. I love them, but you could say it was raining turtles out there, and Eric would go out with a net.
No. These are some well done.
They are. I haven't read it yet, and if Eddie's on your side, I'm going at him. Just wait.
I always look for the loyal following. The man of the people. The Lord is the man of the people.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, all right, guys, we got to get out of here. We'll be back Tuesday. Lord Walker and I will put something together for Thursday privately. We'll talk. We'll get something out for you guys. Again, Kickin It Stateside. Thank you for joining us, A2D Radio. We are sponsored by Specialized Physical Therapy, Dr. Paul Vidal, Cherry Hill, Burlington. Check him out. Call him up. Lord Walker, again, also is in green if you see his name up there because he is a member. He is a subscribed member of A2D Radio, and you can be a subscribed member as well for $9.99 a month, all the perks. Again, he was on shows before it, but now this assures him to be on a show anytime, on any show. It just doesn't have to be our show. He can go on any show he wants.
They're scared of me on the other shows, man.
Yeah, I know they are. Weekly shout-outs, weekly sports picks. Yes, sir. I know you do. This was going to be a tough battle. I put myself on the side, but I think I stood my ground well. And as you see, where's my name at the bottom? One more time. It's not even close. Hashtag calf.
That's funny.
Adam, any parting shots before we head out?
No, just look at my name. Pizza over fish and chips. It's better. I'm going Italy. I'm going Italy.
He's taking Italy in the finals, baby. Oh man,
it's not coming home.
It's not a crazy pick either. That team's really good. That team is.
It's going to be a very, very interesting final.
It's been a good tournament. It's been a good tournament.
It has been a very compelling tournament. I would say that definitely.
Yes.
And, I mean, the fact that two of the world powers are in the finals is going to be interesting, especially with England playing in England. This should be a very compelling tournament.
Two world powers we haven't seen there in a while.
Yeah, and can I just say one last thing though? I do think that because Philly Sports Passion basically said a really great comment in that if this tournament if Copa was played this year but Europe had been played the year before when it should have been pade, then I believe that the numbers would have been comparable.
Yeah.
No, we said that too. It's definitely being overshadowed. It is, and like I said, it is the third most watched tournament in the world. Those stats don't lie. That's history. So I knew what I was up against, and I knew who I was up against.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
You're up against the giant.
I ain't scared.
I know.
It took Rocky to the second movie to win. So
coming at you like Clubber Lang.
All right, guys.
My goodness.
Let's get out of here. Love you.
Entertaining. All right, guys. We'll be back
Adam,
Tuesday.
I'll talk to you this weekend. Yeah, we'll set up for Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll talk both finals and enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Love you guys. We out. Thank you again,
Later.
Lord Walker. You're the best.
Thank you for having me on.